Hey guys, what's going on? Cody from Vapes at Easley here, and today I got
Riley Embry coming at you, and we're going to be doing some safety stuff with some batteries. We're going to be going over some other quick fixes that we can help you all out with.
Yeah, so with the FDA, currently what they're doing right now, they don't let us super look at your boxes anymore or really take tools to them. So this video is just kind of to help you out with some of the little quick fixes that you can do by yourself. For example, we're going to start with the Ego IO. This is a very great kit. It's helped a lot of people quit smoking. The only problem that I've really encountered with this device is the coil flooding every now and then. But, I mean, it is a top flow tank, so that's going to happen sometimes, especially if you let it sit for a little while. But if you ever press the button and it's making a little gurgling noise, all you have to do is just unscrew your device from the top, take your coil off, and then you can take something like a napkin or anything like that and just put it in there and let it soak up some of that juice. And you can even shake it a little bit, and that'll get a little bit of the juice out of it too. But once you do that, you should be able to put it right back on there.
Another thing you can do if you're having that issue is kind of put the napkin over it and kind of suck that juice out of there. It's probably going to leave a bad taste in your mouth, especially if you got nicotine in there, but it's a really good way to get that juice from flooding on you.
Yep. And so past that, besides the IO, I think we're going to go into battery safety next, and Riley's got some tips for y'all.
All right, so everybody knows that's been vaping for any amount of time what an 18650 or 26650 battery is. But a lot of people don't understand the safeties behind them. I'll see people coming to the shop and they've got metal showing on their batteries, and that's one thing that you don't want. So when you're looking at your battery, you're going to want to see a wrap on here. Usually they're going to be colored. You can have clear ones. I recommend putting color on there so you know that it's there and you can tell when it's going bad on you. Yeah. So the first thing you're going to look at is at the top, and there's a little black ring around this little button top here. This is the positive side. But if there's not a black ring or a white ring there, you're going to want to get a new one. And what that is, that's the insulator, and that's going to stop things from exploding in your box, to put it bluntly. Another way that you look at that is the wrap. If the wrap's got any nicks on it, the battery's showing anywhere, you're going to want to get a new wrap for that. Wraps aren't too expensive, and they're also pretty easy to put on. You just kind of snip them, slide them over, and use a heat gun or a hair dryer to get those heat shrinked.
All right, so the next thing we're going to talk about is your RDAs. If you have an RDA that you put on and maybe the center post is spinning in it, or it's saying check atomizer or anything like that, a really quick fix that you can do, you can actually just take you a little flathead screwdriver, and then on the very bottom there, you see that contact pin right there. If that's loose or anything like that, it will cause this center post right here, your positive post, to spin a little bit. So if you just take you your screwdriver and just tighten that down and make sure you hold the center post right where you want it to be, that should tighten it up and you won't have it spinning anymore. That also can help with the check atomizer thing. Sometimes it might be too tight up in there and you want to just take it out a little bit just so that it is touching the contact pin on your box.
All right, so the next thing that we're going to talk about is the TFE4. I know a lot of people carry these tanks. A lot of people own these tanks. They're pretty nice tanks. The one thing that I see people doing wrong with the TFE4 is when they put it together from the top down instead of the bottom up. So you're going to take it apart like you would any other tank. Is just unscrew the bottom here. The top's going to come apart. You can pull that piece of glass out. Juice goes everywhere. But the first thing you want to do is going to get your coil and put it in to the bottom part here. And then you're going to get your piece of glass, put that in, and make sure that your O-rings are nice and tight, because if they're not, you're going to get leaking. A good way to check those is just kind of look down in there, and if they're set in the indentation where they're supposed to be, they're probably pretty good. But when they start getting loose, they'll start kind of coming out. So you just check that every time or every other time. Definitely check it if you're getting leaking. When you put that juice in, just make sure that the glass is pressed down all the way. Down the side here, of course, like you would in any other tank. Then you're going to put this top piece on. There is a little, in the center of your coil is where this top piece is going to screw into. So just make sure that's nice and straight, because if you get cockeyed, it won't screw in correctly.
It can even break your glass,
Yeah, it'll break your
honestly.
glass.
I've seen a lot of people bust their glass just basically like trying to tighten it down. Make sure there's no grit where that glass is. That can crack it, especially for construction workers and stuff like that. We have a lot of people that work construction. I've seen a lot of tanks busted just because they get some of that dirt and grime in there. So make sure when you're maintaining your tank that you're just cleaning it out really good and checking all those O-rings and everything like that.
The last thing that you're going to want to check is when you flip your side piece over is there's a gasket that sits right here. If that's really loose and comes off pretty much whenever you undo this thing, you're going to want to replace that. I know this TFV4 comes with another one. You should only have to replace it that one time. They should last you long enough for the life of the tank. But just make sure that that sits in there and it shouldn't come out too easily. If it does, that's when you need to replace it. But other than that, that's about it on the TFV4.
The only other thing, if you've done all that and it still is leaking, the last thing you need to look at is something like your juice, maybe the VG-PG ratio on it. We've noticed that a lot of 50-50, 60-40s and stuff like that, they just want to pour right through those coils because they're so big. So maybe you just get a little bit extra VG in your juice or just get something a little bit thicker, and that'll keep it from leaking real bad. The only other thing I wanted to show you real quick on the Kanger tanks, a lot of people have leaking issues with just the regular old bottom coil tanks. As far as that goes, you just want to make sure that your coil is seated in there properly. You don't want to gorilla grip it and over tighten it on there or anything like that. You don't want to bend metal or O-rings. You just want to feel that O-ring give a little bit, and once you feel that, you're good to go. Other than that, another common problem that you can have, if you feel like your tank's leaking and you feel like you've gotten the coil in properly and got it seated properly, if it's an older coil or if you've been using it for a while, we generally see the darker it looks, the more tendency it has to leak. So if it is leaking and if you can't figure out any other problems with it, just go ahead and swap your coil, and that'll probably help with it. But let us know in the comments if there's any other questions that y'all have. We'll be happy to do another one of these videos and answer anything. But thanks, guys.